Well, let's start in Russia and at Anzhi, where it looks like their Brazilian playmaker, Willian, has decided to join Chelsea instead of Spurs. Spurs thought they were close to completing the deal and were confident of signing Willian on a 5-year deal. Willian was at Tottenham's training ground yesterday when he was told to head to Chelsea for talks. Jose Mourinho is saying today that Willian has chosen to move to Chelsea. However, our reporter Phil Edwards has spoken to Willian today at his central London hotel, and Willian told him that he had not made up his mind yet. It's believed, though, that the prospect of playing Champions League football could be the deciding factor. There's believed to be a degree of disappointment and annoyance at White Hart Lane about the way this has all panned out. Now, this is what Jose Mourinho had to say about the prospect of signing Willian.
I think he already made his decision.
You think he's chosen Chelsea?
I don't like to speak before time, because football can betray you. That's the danger of medicals before contracts. But at the same time, if you do the contract and the medical after, sometimes you can have a problem by signing a player with problem. The best thing to do is to do the medical in secret.
So you expect it to be done soon rather than later?
We have to do a medical.
Now, staying with Chelsea, where does this leave them and their attempts to sign Wayne Rooney from Manchester United? On Wednesday, Mourinho said that they would wait until after Monday night's game between United and Chelsea before they launched another bid to sign Rooney. And today he said that the signing of Willian did not mean that they had given up on signing Wayne Rooney.
He's that player, they know. We told immediately David Luiz was not for sale, for example. So when you own the player, when you have a contract with the player for a long time, even if the player wishes to leave, and sometimes that happens, that contradiction happens. The player wants to leave, the club wants to keep, and it's something we have to make a decision one way or other way. We have to persuade the player to stay, or the player persuade us to sell. In this moment, I don't care. I have a big match to play on Monday. I don't care with new players, with market. I don't care.
Well, that was Jose Mourinho talking about Wayne Rooney, and David Moyes has also been talking briefly today about the England striker.
When he says he's going to come back with another bid for Wayne Rooney, do you say the message is still the same, Jose?
We've told you, haven't we? So I hardly need to repeat it again.
Doesn't need to be said.
No, doesn't need to be said.
Well, what about players coming into Old Trafford? After having a second bid for Marouane Fellaini and Leighton Baines rejected, is David Moyes ready to admit defeat in his chances of signing his first high-profile player for Manchester United?
There's a need to do it, but there's no pressure to do it. Something we'd like to do. We've been talking about it now probably since I took the job on the 1st of July. I've had an idea of what we need to strengthen, what we need to do. But you know, we won't do it because we just think people like you tell us that we should be signing players. We'll do it because we think it's the right thing to do. And if the right players are available, great. If not, the first thing we'll do is try and encourage our own young players in the squad we've got to do as well as they've done last year.
So when everyone is saying no, no and no, does that mean this could be a transfer window where nothing happens then?
There's a possibility, but the plan is that we bring in one or two if we can.
Well, let's go to Spurs now and see what all this means for the future of Gareth Bale. Well, Bale spent 2 hours at Tottenham's training ground today, and we understand that there is some disappointment in his camp that Tottenham's move for Willian appears to have run into difficulties. The thinking there is that Spurs would have been prepared to sell Bale once they'd completed the club record £30 million signing of Willian. Reports in Spain are claiming that a €99 million deal is close to being agreed between the clubs, and that an announcement could be made before Real's next game on Monday. Now, finally, let's switch our thoughts to Arsenal and a couple of players that they have been trying to sign. Arsene Wenger is trying to sign Karim Benzema and Angel Di Maria from Real Madrid. Wenger says that he has no problem with signing world-class players, but would prefer to develop his own stars of the future. This is what he had to say about Benzema and Di Maria.
It's a number at the moment we are short, and therefore I would be a bit worried that number-wise we are not strong enough to cope with all the targets a club like that has, and we will not go into the new season with only the number of players we have.
Can you tell us if there's been any interest or bid for Benzema or Di Maria?
No, I don't want to speak about names. I leave that to you. We have our targets, you know, and we'll try to achieve that, and I'm confident we will get there.
And just to clarify on Flamini, obviously he's been training here. Is there no chance that you'll sign him?
I don't say there's no chance, and I don't say there is a chance. No, he's just here to work on his fitness, and he does that very well. Ideally, would rather have the squad in place at the start of the season, and I'm a big fan to cancel the transfer window after the start of the season anyway. So for me, once the season has started, you should be capable to focus on the quality of your play and have everybody with the same players for the whole season. Makes sense.
So one player who could be moving to the Emirates in the next few days is Matthew Flamini. The former Arsenal and AC Milan midfielder is training at Arsenal. Wenger said he was training well, but he would not be drawn on the chances of him being offered a contract.